from the most renowned business entities in our country. The theme you've chosen for this summit, digital transformation, powering business and government reset for a post-pandemic economic resilience, a public-private sector dialogue, is truly relevant considering the times in which we find ourselves. As people in charge of the management of various business organizations, the pandemic has demonstrated to us all that the transformation of our businesses through technology and indeed of the economy at large is the only way to survive, ensure economic growth, and the resilience of our businesses and our economy. Of the many lessons that the pandemic has taught us, one stands out: that the world is transitioning to a virtual way of living, and our ability to adapt to innovative ways of doing things is of cardinal importance to our survival. Be it in the way our employees were required to work, communications with our clients, the delivery of our products or services, and even in the fulfillment of legal and regulatory requirements. Digital technology has played and will continue to play a key role in ensuring business and government continuity. The world will never be the same again. Many of the interventions rolled out by this government since taking office in 2017 proved fortuitous, as they were pivotal in the amazing successes we chalked in the management of the pandemic and the resilience exhibited by both the public and private sector. It's as if we anticipated the upheaval of traditional infrastructure and systems caused by the pandemic and had been preparing our response. Since 2017, the government has tirelessly rolled out numerous initiatives aimed at formalizing the economy through technology. Key among this is the e-government project, which has witnessed the implementation of technological systems and platforms such as the paperless port system, e-procurement, e-justice, Ghana.gov digital payment system, mobile money interoperability, the digital address system, the smart workplace virtual office platform for the public sector, and many others. And an example of how these interventions have helped us in our current life is a simple illustration that I want us all to consider. Let's contrast the 2013 election petition, where electronic evidence was rejected by the Supreme Court, and the 2020 election petition, where even court processes were served electronically and evidence was given remotely. We've come a very long way indeed. Over the course of this pandemic, we've noticed an increase in the adoption of various technology-based tools by our people, from food vendors who adopted technology to reach customers and make deliveries. I got into trouble by advertising my favorite wache joint on my Facebook page, Tunga Wache. I still insist that it's the best, so if you haven't tried it, please do so. Our schools, including universities and basic schools, which went online and provided blended learning. Young people were providing grocery and other essential services through various mobile applications. Our telecoms regulator, the NCA, had to issue additional spectrum to network operators who had begun to experience congestion on their networks as a result of the increased usage of telecommunications services as our citizens adopted new usage patterns. Various digital applications were introduced to manage contact tracing and facilitate the safe opening up of our country from its lockdown. One of these solutions is currently being used by the African Centers for Disease Control in its trusted travel scheme to verify and authenticate COVID test certificates and ease the frustrations faced by air travelers as the aviation sector regains some semblance of normalcy. That trusted travel scheme is powered by Panabias mobile application, which was developed by young Ghanaians, and I'm very proud of it, understandably. In addition to these, the digitalization of our land registry is on course. Passport applications, I'm sure many of us will heave a sigh of relief at that, judging by the frustrations we face with our land tenure systems. Passport applications are now online. Renewal of the National Health Insurance Scheme via the mobile phone has been a phenomenal innovation, with an average of 70,000 renewals every week online. Paperless port has reduced the duration for clearing goods at the ports to less than 48 hours. We've also launched a new single digital payment platform, Ghana.gov, to provide a single point of access to apply and pay for services of ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Benefits of this system include growth in government revenue collections, as it's reduced the leakage of government revenue into unauthorized pockets, deepening expenditure savings, and helping our fight against corruption by reducing the human interface in the administration of public services. It is working very well. Happy to announce that government is using its purchasing power to grow digital entrepreneurship and businesses. And examples are the National ID, which was just presented by Professor Tefa, the digital address system, the Ghana.gov payments platform, which were all developed by Ghanaians, procured by government, and are world-class applications that are working very well. Ghana also launched the flip side of digitization is the increase in cyber crimes. And so cybersecurity has to be of utmost importance to all of us as we increasingly move many of our systems onto digital platforms. So we've prioritized cybersecurity since we took office in 2017 and launched the Safer Digital Ghana campaign in 2018 to create awareness amongst children, the public, businesses, and the government agencies. We've also ratified 2 important international treaties on cybercrime, cybersecurity, and data protection. The African Union Convention on Cybersecurity and Personal Data Protection, known as the Malabo Convention, and the European Union Convention on Cybercrime, known as the Budapest Convention. Ghana is only one of 3 countries which has ratified both conventions. A key to effectively managing data exchanges and preventing cybercrime is the comprehensive legal and regulatory framework protecting this space. And so we've enacted the Data Protection Law in 2012, and the Cybersecurity Act was passed in December last year to guide our digital governance environment. The modest efforts we've undertaken in cybersecurity has won commendation from the international community, from the Council of Europe, which has recognized Ghana as the hub for cybercrime capacity building in the English-speaking ECOWAS region, to the World Bank, which has commended our formative developments in cybersecurity and provided support to consolidate our modest gains, and the World Economic Forum, which has also identified Ghana for a public-private partnership on cybersecurity. In ECOWAS, we are the champions for cybersecurity and are leading this effort. As part of that, by the way, and the Vice President alluded to that yesterday, we will register all SIM cards and SIM-enabled devices from next month. And when the exercise ends in December this year, all unregistered SIMs will be blocked. We must clamp down on cyber criminals hiding behind the anonymity of digital systems to commit antisocial acts. And this exercise is a key part of that campaign. Our inability to do that in the past has largely been as a result of the lack of a secure identity document to verify the identity of those who would register those SIMs. Thankfully, because of this government's emphasis on powering our national electronic ID project. That is now behind us, and we have a secure document with which we can verify the identities of every Ghanaian. The Companies Act, Act 992, 2019, now allows for electronic transactions in your dealings with the Office of the Registrar of Companies, from incorporation through payment of fees, submission of annual returns, filing of documents, and many other transactions can all be carried out now electronically, creating a convenient environment for your businesses. Key to improving our ease of doing business is also the establishment or implementation of a cashless, which might seem a bit too ambitious, or a cash-light economy, which is doable. For businesses to thrive and be globally competitive, we need to have effective digital ways of making payments and reduce our reliance on cash. So far, the use of payment systems and platforms facilitated by the Mobile Money Interoperability Framework and the digital infrastructure we're putting in place, created by telecommunications and digital financial services operators, signals a step in the right direction. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't have a meaningful discussion of the efforts being made at digitalization without a reference to the national ID card, otherwise known as the Ghana card. But I will not even comment on that because a full presentation has just been done. Efforts are underway to make it the sole identity card for all identification and business purposes. A single user card to reduce the duplication and waste and frustrations that we face in the sector. National ID cards are now being used as tax identification numbers from the 1st of April. The same number is also on course to be used as SNIT, health insurance, for SIM card verification, for opening of bank accounts, and for procurement of other services. We will link all our databases and make it easier to access, retrieve information from those databases, and to analyze the data and utilize it for planning purposes. We're working on improving access to connectivity across the country with our Rural Telephony and Digital Inclusion Project, which will see the construction of 2,016 solar-powered cell sites in unserved and underserved rural communities across the country, in recognition of the fact that we can't leave anyone behind in our quest to digitize our economy. Every Ghanaian must be connected to the knowledge society unfolding before us. All these interventions I call the silent revolution, because we take them so much for granted, but we can all testify to the fact that they have improved our communications, business-to-business communications, business-to-citizen and government-to-citizen engagement. But if we implement all these digital systems and have to procure the services of expatriate consultants and service providers to manage them, what would we have done? We would have shot ourselves in the foot. And so we need to empower our youth with the digital skills that they urgently need to thrive in the new world of work, as traditional jobs are lost to the opportunities created by emerging technologies. We must manage and operate the systems that we're putting in place and developing and procuring. And our young people must be assisted to step up to the plate. Robotics, connected devices, Internet of Things, machine learning, artificial intelligence, which is powering telemedicine, e-learning or blended learning, autonomous devices, driverless cars are almost here. They all present challenges and opportunities. We must be ready and are working assiduously with the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service to ensure that our young people can also be active participants in the fourth industrial revolution. The African Continental Free Trade Area, the world's largest trade area by number of countries, has the goal of establishing a single market for goods and services across 54 countries on our continent, covering a potential market of 1.2 billion people with a combined GDP of 3 trillion. It will be powered by technology. With our digital platforms, applications, and services, would ensure the harmonization of standards, regulatory frameworks, e-commerce, seamless payments and settlement systems, amongst others. It will remain a pipe dream. Digitization is the only way to ensure free trade across the continent and to create an enabling system for trade financing using electronic means. In order not for businesses in Africa to miss out on the opportunities presented by the African Continental Free Trade Area, you will all have to employ new technologies in your operations or step up and enhance the use of the technologies that you currently are. Digitization, we all know, also increases transparency and accountability and reduces corruption considerably, as technology reduces the opportunities for the human interaction in the procurement of goods and services. The elimination of corruption in all its forms, and particularly in doing business, continues to be a core concern of government. So we're moving from rhetoric to action and putting in place the systems and processes which will actively address this canker. Ladies and gentlemen, I can only assure you once again that it remains a resolve of government to support the transformation of our entire economy, and more importantly, as the future started yesterday, we have to play catch up. Consequently, these digital innovations will continue to be the order of the day, and as you all know, we have to adapt or we will die. As the Sector Ministry for Digitization, and the change in the name of the ministry was not done lightly. It's in recognition of the fact that we need to develop our digital infrastructure, processes, and services in a coordinated, coherent manner, and build interoperable systems and break down the silos which are preventing us from reaping the benefits of the digital interventions that we're putting in place. So now I make it my business. When I hear anything E or anything digital, I will poke my nose in there, because now that is my mandate. We will continue to provide the enabling environment and the necessary facilitation for the growth of this environment in which we are all working. The foundations, the systematic development of the foundations of our digital economy and the governance space provide ample testimony of our resolve. And we're confident that you, CEOs, and the entire business community will partner government in this and work with us to build a country that will be the envy of the sub-region. My goal is to make Ghana the go-to place for all things digital and all things IT in our sub-region. And we are well on the way towards getting there. Challenges exist, not least amongst them being attitudinal change, protection of turf, and our desire to work in our own small spaces, creating silos and hiding behind those walls. We recognize those challenges, but together we will surmount them. I thank you for this opportunity and for your kind audience, and I wish you successful deliberations.